Hey guys. So last time we went over perimeter, which, if you remember, hopefully you do, is the distance around something, all the way around. This time we're going to do area, and if perimeter is around, area is everything in between. So that's what we're going to go over today. When we're looking at this square, the difference between area and perimeter is that when we're counting for a perimeter, we're just doing the distance around. Now what we need to do is figure out how much is on the inside of this square, so it's this big open space. So the easiest way to do that visually is it's like filling up this space with blocks. And if we do this for this whole thing, then all we would have to do is count the blocks, which would give us the area. Now I have the whole thing filled in. And the simplest thing we could do is we could just count. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up until we get how many blocks are in the entire thing. But there's a much easier way to do that with a really simple formula. So, the really simple formula is, all you gotta do is count up one side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Count up the second side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're going to take the two sides and multiply them by each other. So if I come right over here, for this one, each side is 6. So I'm just going to do 6 times 6. And that will give me the area for the entire square. So for our case, 6 times 6 is equal to 36. There, really simple. 6 times 6 is 36. Now that works on squares or rectangles. Just multiply one side by its adjacent side. So you do this side by this side. That would work even if this was longer. It would just be, this one would just be a slightly larger number, but it would still give you the area of the whole thing. Alright, so this message is for the rhino cat specifically. For you guys, what I want you to do is I want you to go back to the area or the perimeter worksheets you guys did yesterday for math, and I want you to take those and see if you can figure out the area for them. All you gotta do is multiply one side by the side next to it. You can absolutely use a calculator because I know some of you guys aren't really doing multiplication yet, so just give it a try, see what you can come up with. For panthers and scholars, we're going to go on to something a little more challenging. So please keep watching, and we're going to check out a more complicated shape. Rhino cats, you're absolutely welcome to give it a shot, but don't worry about it if it's hard. All right, now we have a more challenging shape, because we can't just multiply one side by another, because that would give us the area as if this were a giant square, and it's not. So now, what we need to do is to break this up into smaller squares. So now, we're going to turn this from one weird shape into two smaller rectangles. It's like magic. Alright, let's focus on this little square to start with. So, we'll just take one side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and multiply it by the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we've got 6 times 5 equals 30. So now we know that the area of this smaller square right here is 30. So now let's move on to the bigger one. So now, if we count this one out, we've got 10 on this side, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means we do 10 times 5. And 10 times 5 equals, I hope you said 50. Good job. So now, we've only got one last step to do. Alright, so now all we got to do is we've got to add the area of the larger rectangle plus the area of the smaller rectangle, and we get 50 plus 30 equals 80. So now we know that the area of this entire shape is 80 square inches. All right, so there was something important there that I said. because I didn't call it just 1 inch. I called it 1 square inch. And the difference is, when we just measure something, this is 1 inch long. But when we're finding the area of something, we have to find it in a square, because that's how it's measuring it. That's what these things are, 1 square inch. So it's really important that when we're finding the area, we're not writing it down as 1 inch, we're writing it as 1 inch squared. I'm going to put the same links as I did yesterday in the bottom of this one, so you can get those in case you don't have yesterday's. But I want you to go back to those pages and figure out the area of those shapes. So, same as yesterday, give those a shot. Email them to your teachers or however you're getting the work to them. And I really hope this all makes sense. Good job, guys. Bye.